Hey, Money Bosses. Tracy here, coming to you from the road. Yes, I'm doing business travel again, but this actually ties in perfectly to today's episode. We're talking about something I call acting as if. And no, it's not just motivational fluff. It's about creating the life you want before you see the results in reality, before you feel ready, and before the world tells you it's okay. For those of you that are regulars here, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Hit subscribe and let's do this. The principle I'm going to share with you is used by anybody that changes their life, whether they know they're using it purposely or whether they accidentally implement this. It's called acting as if. So in this case, the rich you, acting as if you are the rich version of you that you want to be. And here's the principle. It's called be, do, have. So this is completely backwards to the way that the brain works. Usually we think if I have the money, then I'll do the things I want, and then I'll finally feel like the person I want to be. But it doesn't work that way. That's the have, do, be trap. The problem, you're always waiting. You're waiting for the motivation, waiting for the results, waiting for the perfect circumstances. And guess what? It's never perfect. So this principle flips it. Instead of when I have what I want, I'll do the things I want and I'll be the person I want to be. Now we flip it and we go be, do, have. So the B step is you become the person who naturally gets what you want. Mindset, habits, language. You need to become that person. Do. You take the actions that person would take, not what you feel like doing, but what your future self would do. And then, because you flipped it to the opposite, you now have the results that naturally flow from thinking and acting like the person you want to be. So think about that a little bit before I go into some of the details and the examples. We're always waiting for the feeling, waiting for the knowledge, waiting for the confidence of the person that you're going to be at the end. But the thing is, it never comes. Like nobody sprinkles motivation, greatness, confidence on you. You need to go, this is the person I want to be. Who is that future version of you? Let's say you want to be a millionaire business owner. Take a sheet of paper. The version of you that owns $1 million business, how do they think? How do they feel? How do they act? How do they dress? What do they read? What do they do with their spare time? What do they think? What clubs are they part of? Write the version of you that is a millionaire business owner, or look up other millionaires. What do they do? What do they think? What do they read? That is the person you just need to become and walk into. Instead of waiting for that person over there that you're never going to get to, you embrace it. I've heard people say it's almost very similar to what actors do in Hollywood. They take on a role, right? So let's say you were you, and then you were hired to become an actress or actor in Hollywood. And you're going to be like this amazing, like high level powerhouse woman or a powerhouse man CEO that dresses the part, swagger, confidence, hangs out at the martini club, dressing finely, acting with confidence. So to be that person you want to be, think of it, you need to step into that confidence, even if you don't feel like it. But if you start acting like it, your body embraces that persona. So let's pick an example. Tracy, I'll say Tracy. When I was younger and I started listening to The Secret. They talked about um, dressing nicely. I think there was an example of a person that went out and they seen themselves as successful when they had a fur coat. So they actually, long before they were successful, they didn't spend money they didn't necessarily have to in a crazy an extent. They actually just went out and bought that fur coat before they were ready, before they could afford it, before they were successful. Because in that person's brain and the secret, that fur coat was the trigger of them being successful. So let's say you are at home, you work a part-time job, and you're in Lululemons and sweatshirts and runners. No judgment, but there is no successful CEO that dresses that way. An easy way to start changing your vibe, your persona, is how you dress. And you might not be able to afford it. I'm not saying go buy brand name bags because that's a fleeting high. If that's your trigger, maybe it'll help. But I'm not saying do something reckless. I'm saying buy a nice suit, buy a nice dress shirt, buy nice dress pants, buy a power dress. The version of you in your mind that is a millionaire and has the life that you desire, what are they wearing? Chances are you can dress like that now. So do it because that's going to help you step into the millionaire rich version of you. So even if you can't afford it, I'm not saying go buy a $5,000 suit. You can even go to the thrift store. And if you find that suit there, do it. If that's all that you can do to afford dressing nicely, start with what you have where you have. Okay, so let's roll right into acting as if. I've already started. Number one point, acting as if. Go where people with the results like you, future version of you, go. If you want financial freedom, spend time in spaces where money-minded people go out. So let's say that is the Martini Bar downtown, or take one of your high-scale hotels in your local city. Go there, go into the lounge, and you'll notice there's going to be high-level business executives dressed nicely, having a meal, having a drink, relaxing before they wake up to go to their business meeting. You can park in that hotel, dress like the successful version of yourself, and pretend it's you, future you, walking into that hotel as a business person. Pretend you're there for a meeting in a nice outfit that you typically wouldn't wear because you're the new version of you. If you have, bring a briefcase or a nice purse, go in, buy a drink, have a meal, and sit there and pretend you are the future version of you, rich you. And guess what the thing is? Rich you would be doing that, and you're already doing it. So you are collapsing timelines and you're in the aura and vibe of money. And you start looking at the mannerisms of people that are successful. Birds of a feather flock together. You are the sum results of the five closest people you hang out with. I'm not saying ditch your family and friends, but if you can insert yourself to rich society, join an entrepreneur club, go to a library, pardon me, go to a coffee shop, go where people like rich you would go. Like I said, dress like the person you aspire to be. That's one of the easiest ways. Using clothing, it's fairly cheap. And if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good. That was my earliest hack to success. I started dressing like my business partners were millionaires. And I actually started dressing nicer than they did. And then I showed up with confidence that I was looking good. And then I got the bit of a swagger. And then I was reading books that rich people read. One of my partners, he is, I'd say, probably a billionaire at this point in my media company. he is a millionaire, billionaire investor, and he would tell me different books to read. So I would dress nice. I'd start reading these books. I would listen to them and I would level up mentally. And guess what? When you start to change your thoughts and beliefs by being around rich people, by dressing nicely, by learning through books, $20 can teach you how to be a millionaire. You start leveling up and you change your reality creation framework. Thoughts and beliefs, feelings, actions, results. You can take small risks and be the person that you want to become. Here is where it ties into today and my travel. I have a car coming for me in half an hour, so I got to make this quick. Travel has allowed me to expand my horizons dramatically. Being in airports, seeing the amount of money that people spend on travel, talking to people, finding out where they're going, what they do. You go from, let's say you live in a small town or your end of the city, and all you do is hang out with the people you know in your house, watching the TV you watch, hanging out with your coworkers, same job. Your world becomes pretty small, stagnant, and Groundhog Day over and over. You won't change if you don't change your thoughts and beliefs, feelings, actions to get new results. Travel, absolutely, I would say, is one of the biggest factors that just allowed me to just blow all my preconceived notions. You see different cultures, planes, hotels, the amount of money out there, the different career possibilities. When you stay in your little chunk of your world and don't change, you will never change. Travel has been the single second most important thing that has allowed me to change my life and become a millionaire. First is learning. And then second would be traveling and just enriching my experience. And really, it comes to changing the thoughts and realities, my thoughts and beliefs about reality by seeing all these people, seeing executives learning different roles. And then when I got these new thoughts, beliefs, experiences, I felt different. When I felt different, I took different actions, different results. And if traveling isn't possible for you, because I know a lot of people will be going, Tracy, I can't afford that. My job doesn't let me travel. That's okay. It's as simple. If you drive to work, take a different road. If you have a Friday evening, go drive somewhere randomly. Change your life to change your life. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And that's where the be, do, have comes in. If you become a different person in your clothing, your mind, what you read, how you behave, you cannot help but starting to have and become different person. Be, do, have. So if you become a new person, you do different things, you have different results. So that is how travel has changed my life. And it fires me up. It gives me freshness, different perspectives. So again, if you can travel, do it. If you're on business travel and you don't use this for the amazing blessing that it is, and you're just sitting there on your laptop, if you're not like looking at people and talking and absorbing and like letting your mind as expand as big as those airport auditoriums, as big as the planes taking off, you are missing out because travel, whether personal or business, is such a rich opportunity to change yourself by changing your thoughts, beliefs, experiences, your feelings, your actions, your results. So, again, even small changes, driving a different way to work. All of a sudden, maybe you do the same thing every night. You change it up. Become a different person in your appearance, your thoughts and beliefs, and your actions. And then you will change. So, final action steps. I've given you a lot of them. Take a new route to work, change your perspective, read different stuff, sit on YouTube, podcasts. What you consume If you take the garbage that you normally watch and listen to, the TV shows, the news, and replace that with books and podcasts and videos designed to help you succeed, you're going to start becoming a different person. And then from mentally becoming a different person and doing different actions, you're going to have different results. I hope that helps. Travel always blows my small little box that I live in, which is expanded and expanded, but it just blows the box of my reality the second the flight takes off. It literally, because you're just expanding your horizons, you're leaving the ground. You're sitting beside people that have immigrated to this country that do different jobs that like it's just mind-blowing. Whether you can do the travel version or the coffee shop version or the road trip version in your life, there's no excuses. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always be who. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So if you always do, that means dress, think, act, believe, work, drive the same, hang out with the same people, consume the same things. If you always do the same things, you're always going to get the same results. So if you want to change your life, change you, change your life. You need to act as if, because when you embody the rich you in your mind and in your actions and feelings, you're going to get different results. This is just a different spin on the reality creation framework that I always share. Be, do, have. Become the person you see as a rich version of you. Become that to the best of your ability right now. Doesn't involve spending money. Become that person physically, mentally, confident, skills, learning, be that person. Do those actions and you'll have those results. Getting rich is a science. Be, do, have. New thoughts, beliefs, feelings, actions, results. I don't care who you are. Like I say, I don't care if you live in a box. If you have an iPhone and you're learning this stuff, you can change your life. I don't care who your parents are. I don't care what anybody told you about your potential or your lack of potential. Erase everything from yesterday, from like this moment. Now, erase it all and start thinking and believing differently, being differently, feeling different, acting different, and you're going to get different results. And again, don't be precious. Like I say, reality creation doesn't happen at the snap of your fingers. You're building a new life. I'm 43 years old. Like I always say, if I want my life to be different next year, I'm going to have to change my thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and actions. Otherwise, I'm just going to recreate the life I have, which is a beautiful life. But I'm looking to level up in my media companies, in my life, in my mindset, in my meaning, in my service to my community and you, to my agriculture audience that listens to my podcast on Farm Marketer. If you want to be the rich version of you one day, be that in your mind, do that in your reality, and you're going to have that in your results. I hope this has helped. Again, whoever you are, whatever you have in your mind, erase that and realize it's you against you. It doesn't matter anybody else, any past judgments. Erase all that. That's limiting beliefs. If you have the desire to be successful, to be rich, you can do it. Be, do, have. Thoughts, beliefs, feelings, actions, results. Commit to yourself. Commit to your success more than you want your excuses, and you will be unstoppable. I believe in you. You can do this. Thank you for being here. And if you want to be a money boss, go to the moneybosscollective.co, join our free community. I email you once a week with new episodes, and you will then be part of a community that is working to be money bosses that are committed to stepping into their personal power, making dream money, and living life on their terms. You got this. I believe in you. You are unstoppable. See you next week. Bye bye.